was a cold and dreary day on the Sustainably Yours homestead. The previous night's storm had brought with it temperatures in the low 40s and winds up to 30 miles an hour. The chicken tractor that just 2 days prior had housed 8 healthy little chickens now sat empty in the yard.
But don't worry, they're okay. We just had a storm front move in last night, so just to be on the safe side, I put them back in the brooder so they could stay nice and warm. And I want to be nice and warm too, so I've decided to bring my work indoors. I'm running out of my fermented feed, and I may be cutting it a little close. It takes about 3 days for the food to ferment, and I'm not sure that I have 3 days of fermented food left in my bucket, so we need to get this done today. A problem that I have been having is rationing the food. So I had an idea. I've looked around and I haven't seen anybody else doing this, so that probably tells me that it's not a good idea, but I'm going to try it anyway. I picked up some cheesecloth. My thought is that I could make little ration balls of food wrapped in cheesecloth, and then I will have those sitting in the bucket to ferment. I'm going to give it a try and see if it works. We'll try just a small batch first, and then if it works out, awesome. That will make my life a little bit easier down the road. If it doesn't work, then another lesson learned. So I have already fermented some feed, and I could use some of the water from that feed as a starter for the new bucket, but for the sake of making this video and everything, I kind of want to start from the beginning. Now, the first thing I need to do is figure out how much food to ration to the chickens. The numbers that keep popping up online, from what I can tell, you want to feed each chicken somewhere between 1/4 to 1/3 of a pound of feed per chicken per day. I don't know if that's before fermenting or after fermenting. When you ferment the feed, of course, it absorbs water and expands. So I'm going to go with the low end on that. The chickens aren't fully grown either, so I think we're safe at the low end for right now. So I need to find out how much feed weighs a pound so I can ration it out that way. To do that, I don't have a good kitchen food scale. I do have a bathroom scale that weighs in tenths of a pound. So it should be accurate enough for me to figure this out. To get my fermenting water going, I'm going to start with some apple cider vinegar with the mother. That's really important. Apparently this is the mother in the apple cider vinegar is the bacteria and stuff that we want in the water to get the fermentation process going. So give this a good shake. And I don't know, I'm going to use about a cup, which may be overkill. I don't know. But that's what we're using. So we've got a cup of apple cider vinegar with the mother. Now we want to add some water. Now this needs to be non-chlorinated water. And there are several ways you can get non-chlorinated water. If your water does not contain chloramine, then apparently you can boil away the chlorine or let it sit out for 24 hours, maybe a little more, just to be on the safe side. I didn't have any non-chlorinated water handy, so I went to the grocery store and I bought some bottles of distilled water. So we're going to add some non-chlorinated distilled water to our bucket. Set that jug aside. I'm sure we'll use it later. Now again, it's really important apparently that you use non-chlorinated water because the chlorine will kill all the good guys that were in the apple cider vinegar that we poured in the first place. And I guess for the future, I need to set up some rain catching buckets so that I'll have a nice supply of non-chlorinated water where we can do this whenever we need to. I'm going to take my cheesecloth, and I'm completely guessing at this. I don't know. So I'm going to unroll some of it. We'll cut this off. See what we can do with that. And I think what I want to do is go with several cups of feed in each ration ball. So let's see what this looks like. There's 1 cup. Two cups. Let's do. So we have 3 cups of feed. Let's see how this works out. Pick up all the corners. I think that leaves me enough space in there where I can pick it up and introduce new water throughout the whole wad. And I'm going to use a rubber band to hold this closed. And hopefully there is 1 ration ball of feed. And then when I start feeding these things out, I can kind of monitor how much they eat. They're also going to be out on the grass. Eventually we're going to try and free range them and just supplement with feed. I would like to move to whole grains that we can buy and mix our own food, but for now this is what we'll try. But what I'll do is I'll just kind of feed these out and monitor how much they're eating, and I can figure out how many I need to give them each time. So let's go ahead and drop this in our bucket. And we'll be adding more water to this before we're finished. And now I'm just going to take a few minutes to make some more of those ration balls. Sit back and enjoy the music and fast forward video. Leave it at this for right now, just in case it doesn't work. I don't want to spoil all my feed. So we ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then another one in the bucket. So 7 ration balls of feed. I weighed the feed left in the bag before I started. We had about 20 pounds there, and afterward we were down to about 14 pounds. So I used, I don't know, somewhere between 6 and 7 pounds of feed. That comes out to almost a pound of feed per ration bag. We have 8 chickens, so if I feed each of them a quarter of a pound of feed, that would be 2 ration balls roughly a day. So I think what I'll try to do is give them 1 ration ball in the morning and then check them in the afternoon and give them another ration ball, see if that's gone before night, and we'll go from there. But I need to get the rest of these into the fermenting water, and I need to add some more water because those will absorb over time. So, and we'll have to check them again in about 30 minutes or an hour. We want to make sure that they stay covered with water, and we want to put a loose fitting lid or maybe some cheesecloth over it. For my other bucket, I took the lid to the bucket and cut a big hole in it and closed it with some screen. Might try to rig up something like that again, I don't know. Let's get these in the bucket. And we'll add some more water to make sure that these things are completely covered. No, we're good. I thought maybe I punched a hole. We're good. Let's try to roll this down the side this time. There we go. That's what we want. Everything is underwater. I'll come back again in 30 minutes or so and make sure we haven't lost too much water. And as I mentioned earlier, it's a little chilly outside. I think we're still down in the 40s or 50s. And for this fermentation process to happen, we want it to be kind of warm. So I brought my bucket downstairs into my little indoor greenhouse. Here we are. I've got a heater in here that kicks on if the temperature drops below 70. So it'll stay warm. I've decided just to cover the bucket with some of the cheesecloth and let that be that. When it warms up a little bit, we'll carry it outside. That'll make it easier. And there's the heater. Here's some of my plants that I'm getting ready to move outside as soon as the weather decides to cooperate. Some tomatoes. My peppers are a little slow. I kind of started them a little late. I think these peas, I'm just going to leave them inside. I already have some growing outside. Some more peppers over here that I started even later. Have a couple that are tricots or something. 3 seed leaves. Over here, we have our worm bin that we started a couple of weeks ago, I guess. Worms are doing well. They'll probably be laying some eggs here pretty soon. I'll keep on the watch out for those. And I guess that's going to be it for today. Hopefully these ration balls work. I was just having trouble getting the feed out of the bottom of the bucket. And I'm not sure that I was feeding the right amount to my chickens. So I decided to try ration it out a little bit. Hopefully it doesn't spoil. If it works out, I'll let you know. If it doesn't, I will let you know. If you enjoyed the video, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Hope to see you back again next time for more daily sustainable living. And if you're a content creator but you've never heard of Steam It, man, you need to jump on that. It's a social media platform where you get paid just for sharing your content. Think something like a blogging platform meets Facebook meets Reddit, where the more upvotes you get, the more steam you get for your post. Now I'm way oversimplifying it, but if you might be interested, I'll drop a link down in the description of this video. This is in no way an affiliated link or anything like that. I just think it's a really cool platform, and I would like to see some more people jump on board.